Okay, so they just finished first in the division last year with 109 points despite some pretty rough injuries. What do you think the betting odds are for the Avs in terms of points this season? They had 109 last year. They did lose some players this year. They did gain some players this offseason. What do you think?
I'm going to say that's difficult. 108.5.
Jesse.
Let's say 110.5.
106.5.
Oh, let's go.
Okay.
Not bad. Now, it's hard to believe that the Avs did have such a great year despite all those injuries. They didn't lead the league in man games lost to injury, but they did lead the league. They used a league-high 43 players to get through the regular season.
Holy Toledo.
The injury luck was terrible.
Wow.
But here's what we have. We now know Landeskog's not coming back. They didn't know that last year.
Right.
They know that Pavel Francouz has not stepped on the ice as of yet at camp, likely to go on LTR to start the season. Let's start there. Is Justus Annunen the number 2 goalie, or is he the number 2 goalie right now as described by Jared Bednar, which is not how you want to be described, I don't think.
I'm just looking at this right now. So, oh boy, that's tough. Annunen is a goalie who has had some success. He was one of the draft picks I covered in Trade Tree forever ago that they got through the Matt Duchene trade. So still paying dividends. It's crazy how much Colorado got from that. That being said, they're an injury away from disaster, right? So they could absolutely flirt with 110 points. If they go into the season with Pavel Francouz and Alexander Georgiev gets hurt opening night, they're screwed. And they did too well last year to have a good enough place in the waiver wire order that they could get a guy like, I don't know, Martin Jones even, who could be a decent stopgap, or any of the other guys who are
Even Tampa is ahead of them. Tampa, the other team that needs a goalie.
Like I imagine, who ended up getting Spencer Martin? Someone claimed Spencer Martin.
I don't know.
Like I assume they would have tried to get him.
Yeah.
Unless they were the team who got him. In that case, it's funny. He's not on their cap friendly. So
I mean, Georgiev had a 919 and a 253 GAA last year. He was 40-16 in 62 games. He has played this amount before. He is at the age where you should be able to play this amount, but you have to think that Colorado's probably going to look for somebody to go.
Yeah. Annunen's had a couple little cups of coffee at the NHL level. Hasn't been great. He had a good season in the minors last year with the Colorado Eagles, but you're going to need help if Georgiev goes down long term.
Now, Jesse.
What's up? It was Columbus, by the way, who got Spencer Martin.
There you go.
If you're a huge Colorado Avalanche fan, you're put yourself in the headspace of producer Drew.
Ooh, I'm going to troll Leaf fans all summer.
Hey, everybody
sucks.
And your favorite player, Cale Makar.
Oh, Cale Maker.
Cale Maker comes to camp and says he spent every day this summer just trying to feel normal again. That's what he said.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I feel very satisfied with where I am as the Colorado Avalanche. Like, obviously, Cale Makar maybe not making it to the season opener is going to be a little rough for them. But they have this one kid, I don't know if you ever heard of him, but his name is Bo Byram. And it's Bo Byram's time to shine. It's about to be Byram's season very soon, and it could be this season where he takes that next step, and we're all like, how did they do this again?
Fantasy sleeper.
They have 2 number 1 defensemen. You know, I think
and Devon Taves.
It's about time where who's going to be an amazing number 2, you know, to these guys.
Let me pour a big old bucket of water on that. Bowen Byram has played 72 games in the last 2 years.
Yes, injuries have derailed him. And I think this season, the number 1 goal for Bo Byram is to play 82 games. Be healthy, because when he's healthy, he can emerge as the number 1 defenseman. On this team, he'll be the number 2, which is an unfair advantage. And how can Colorado do this again?
So
they can't keep getting away with this.
Here's where we are. They used 43 players last year, and they were still great. And we're looking at this going, how are they going to be able to do it? We've already seen them do it.
They did it.
So, yeah.
And they did it with more uncertainty. Right?
With more uncertainty, Makar was injured and then I believe suspended.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember
yeah,
what he
there was
did.
a weird suspension in there.
I can't remember what he did.
Yeah.
It was like an accident, but also nuts. But they have so many guys they can turn to. I'm not concerned about anything up front, not concerned about anything on the back end. It's the goalies.
The regular season, in the regular season last year, Josh Manson also only played 27 games. And he's, he looks like he's going to be back to health. And here's the Avalanche are rated the second best defensive core when healthy in the NHL. Taves, Makar, Byram, Manson, Sam Girard, who never gets any chat, but still one of the greatest pickups. That is part of the Matt Duchene Ottawa trade.
He gets chat in trade rumors.
That's right, yeah, which is weird. And Jack Johnson as well. So it looks like on defense, obviously they look like a good team. They just got to stay healthy. Now, they lost some depth with JT Compher and Evan Rodriguez, but they're going to replace it with Ryan Johansson at 50% retained from Nashville, so that's $4 million, and Jonathan Drouin, who apparently Nathan McKinnon called Joe Sakic and said, listen, go get this guy. I want to play with this guy. I think there's something here, and they have been playing together.
Who's Jonathan Drouin?
He's a noted Alan Walsh club.
Oh, thank you.
And where did they have they ever met before, Drouin and McKinnon?
Yeah, 10 years ago.
In the best city in the world, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
There you go.
The Mooseheads, baby.
I mean, it's a zero risk move.
But they are playing together. They're trying them out.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if he doesn't work out, it's like, all right, he's leagueman. Like, it's fine. And like, Drouin, I don't think has to play with Nathan McKinnon in order for Drouin to have a successful season. There's other weapons on this team.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the guys they brought in, like, and you left off that list: Ross Colton, Thomas Tatar, and Miles Wood.
Well, I'm getting to Ross Colton.
So good.
I got something on Ross Colton.
Because with their injury luck and the depth that they had, their forward group was so decimated. You had a guy like Logan O'Connor playing way up in the lineup towards the end of the season, and it was a disaster. And now they bring in all these extra bodies, and now people can hopefully stay healthy. It's going to be a really good Colorado team.
The Athletic has named Ross Colton, Jesse, the breakout candidate of the year for the Avs. He never averaged more than 13 minutes a game for Tampa Bay, yet averaged 19 goals each of his last two seasons. So probably going to play third line to start, but obviously if there's injuries, he can move up, and he's played with really good teams before.
I mean, if Drouin's not good, I mean...
There's your guy.
That's the easy solution.
You run it 1-2-3. You run McKinnon, Johansson, Ross Colton.
I think so.
Oh, you have him up the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Miles Wood also adds a lot of value, Jess, you were saying. 6-year, $15 million deal. One of those weirdo long ones that keeps the term low. Valuable player in New Jersey. What does he bring to another winning team in Colorado?
I mean, he's a pain in the ass, right? So Colorado's going to miss a lot of man games. He's the solution. He's the guy who softens up the other team. Right? They're an underratedly tough team. It's kind of funny that Colorado and Tampa faced off in the Cup final because they're two teams who they're not necessarily the aggressors, but they can take a punch. And he's going to be a little bit of the punch giving.
So for the two of you, I must ask. He
My second favorite holiday, punch giving.
What kinds of seasons do you expect from the big guys? McKinnon, Nichushkin, Rantanen. If Colorado is going to repeat for the division for the third straight year, what do these guys need to be?
Well, Nichushkin's a complete mystery to me. I'm afraid to even touch that one.
Well, you could just talk about his on-ice play. We're not asking you what kind of person he is.
No, I know, but like it's such weird circumstances, and you wonder how that affected his summer.
Yeah.
But I mean, Rantanen's Rantanen. He's gonna get. I think it'd be disappointing if he only got 40. He should be flirting with 50. McKinnon should be flirting with 50. McKinnon should be up over 100 points. Both those guys are going to be completely ridiculous.
Jesse, what do you think?
I forgot last season Rantanen had a 55-50 season.
Yeah.
He had 55.
Crazy.
55-50.
And no one cared because two guys got 60.
It's stupid. Like they're gonna be so good up top. You know, the two stars are gonna do their thing. Like, what can you say? But if history says anything, now that McKinnon is a $12.6 million player, he's not gonna win anything anymore.
Right.
That's what happened in Chicago. And look at the Leafs guys.
It's
Once
weird.
they get the big contracts, they can't win. So McKinnon sucks to be you.
It's just really weird because he said he'd take less. It's weird.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
Weird. He'd play for free.
One question I have for the Avs, and this is something we've seen in a lot of teams, when you add a bunch of new players, and they did add a lot, It can create magic or it can create tension because there's no guarantee everybody fits. And I'm specifically thinking of an extreme example in Calgary last year. A lot of change. It didn't quite fall into place. Perhaps coaching was the issue there too, most of the issue. What do you think that's going to be an issue for the Avalanche, guys?
Nah, it was a lot more seismic in Calgary. Like you had a line of 3 40-goal scorers and you got rid of 2 of them. Like I think that's pretty.
Oh, is that a problem?
Yeah, just a bit. The core is all still there. No one is confused about who's in charge.
Yeah, the defense is almost entirely intact, and the guys they brought in are like 5 forwards who are going to work the edges of the lineup, you know?
Yep.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay, now I do want to do a couple shout outs to a couple former Leafs, Peter Holland and Brandon Kozin, who may end up with the Eagles in the AHL, depending upon, I think I think at very least Peter Holland will be offered an AHL deal, which good for him after 3-4 years away from the game.
Incredible.
Amazing. And he's like, no, I want to make the NHL. I get it, but listen, Peter, let's start in the A and work our way up. Baby.
I mean, he's ripped like an old shirt, but he hasn't played in the NHL in a very long time.
It's incredible that he's even here. So with that, all of that taken into account, gentlemen, where do you have, and this is a tough one because it's a tough division at the top, where do you have the Colorado Avalanche in the division, in the Central?
They're so good that this is going to sound like an insult, but I have them second. I don't know if winning the division is necessarily a priority for them. Like Cale Makar, if he needs a rest, they'll give it to him. Ryan Johansson, I think, is probably going to need some rest days. Not having a backup is actually really detrimental to your regular season. Like that could be a swing of 10, 15 points.
Yep.
Right there. So they're going to be really good. They're going to make the playoffs, but second.
Okay, Jesse Blake, where do you have him?
Steve, if you had some skeptical Taco Bell, what would happen?
I'd probably have KFC, I guess, because I'm skeptical that I went to the right restaurant.
What?
Can we just answer the question?
I don't understand the question.
You'd probably have to take a number 2, which is where I have the Colorado Avalanche. Thank you for setting me up.
I think
I had no idea where you were going with that.
now I'm going to tell you this.
You're the one guys always talking about pooping yourself. That's your MO. Talking about pooping yourself.
I do mention poop. I do.
I thought you could set me up.
I know why you guys have Colorado ranked at second. I have them at first. And Steve, you asked if it mattered to them. I think it does. And I think the reason it matters is because it mattered to them last season.
You didn't ask me who I had first.
Well, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Colorado, I have at first, and I think it does matter, and I think it is a point of contention, and I think they want that home ice guarantee, and I think that they know that the Dallas Stars are nipping at their heels, but I think any team with Nathan McKinnon on it, every minute of every game matters. So Colorado, I still have you at number 1, and I think you're going to be healthy this year.